where I recognized the importance of giving students choice and outlet for whatever it is they're passionate about, and then started really valuing that networking piece and those connections. A challenge and an enjoyment at the same time has been teaching a course completely built on inquiry. And so, I mean, I've obviously used inquiry in my classroom before in different ways, in different settings, but those units usually begin and end. And then you're back to something that's a little bit more structured, or you've got some more experience with, some familiarity with, and Design Your Impact is everything that's not that, you know, it's the opposite. And I told the students that when we built the course came from recognizing that there was this need, this opportunity for students to take time and have time dedicated in their curriculum to explore different current events and issues, pique their interests, right? That's our enduring understanding, is that students should be curious about the world around them and take action within it, right? Within those issues. And so as we built it, you know, I really told the students from the very beginning, I said, hey, look, like, why are you here? Why'd you decide to take it? You read the description, which is the first iteration. This is brand new. We're all building together. And so there was just constant, it's interesting because it uses the service learning cycle. The class utilizes the service learning cycle. And I'm also going through my own cycle of sort of service learning as well, meeting this need for the students and constantly reflecting and refining with their feedback. So we were kind of running those two things parallel with one another. Constant check-ins, constant feedback. Hey, where are we? Is the class engaging? Do you find yourself like being able to take steps toward taking action in this area that you're passionate about? And so that was a challenge for me because it was very, very open-ended. And so people are like, how's it going? I'm like, it's going, you know? And ultimately the end result was fantastic. We had 3 really great projects. We have a student who has continued to work on a different facet of a similar project, and the interest is growing. So now I have students who are, you know, reaching out about projects that they're passionate about, that they might have time, they might be able to do it in auto block or on their own personal time, but they're busy students, right? And really when we look at what learning should look like and the application of skills and knowledge should look like, it needs to have authenticity, it needs to have novelty, it needs to have real world context. And so having students bring these projects in, like a sneak peek of a project for next year, is the students are taking the research that was done by Stanford University on superworms, mealworms that can eat styrofoam and other things, digest, and basically turn it into compost. And so that research was done a few years ago, and they're really passionate about it, and they've already started doing these experiments and coming up with these ideas, and they've got this long vision of how they can turn it into an educational project for elementary school students, connection, academics, how they can go and teach other schools in Korea about this same project and beyond, right? And what that looks like. And so going through the service learning process with them in that course will give them the time, give them the structure and the support that they need for that to be the most impactful project that it could be. About who's in control of the programs and who's contributing to the programs, who's fostering the programs, and that's the students and whoever else is involved in the program. And so it shifted from growing the impact of the programs to building the capacity of the students. And by building leadership capacity, by helping pique curiosity and interest in our students and giving them an outlet for exploring different issues or exploring different passions, then they're able to filter all of that. All of that will go into whatever work they do, which will ultimately increase and enhance the impact of the programs themselves, right? So I had this moment of like this huge epiphany. I was like, wait a minute, I'm focusing on the wrong thing. And then, yeah, the idea of design your future kind of fit well with design your impact, and that is what they're doing, right? Is they're using the service learning cycle to figure out how they're going to take action, which is their impact. Started the role as the service and sustainability coordinator. I was walking into all these different programs and I was looking at them and I was thinking, all right, how can I grow the impact of these programs? That was my focus. It took me about 6 months to recognize that I was putting the ends before the means, and what I was focused on was the wrong thing. And so I shifted my focus into the service and activism work. I think that students are just, there's more, and we've talked about this a little bit, I think the agency is there, right? So students have this opportunity to choose what they want to learn, what is interesting to them. They've constantly got teachers that are piquing their interest in different ways. There's a lot of really great work being done in different departments throughout the middle school so that there's choice in what they're reading, there's choice in what they're seeing, there's choice in content areas. There are more electives than there were before. There are just an abundance of opportunity for students to be independent and think about what it is they want to learn, I think, and be autonomous in that. And so the way that's translated to my work in the high school, I think, really is the way that they talk about what they want to do. So students have always wanted to do service or do activism, be involved in programs, right? And you used to have to really kind of dig in to see if the students were really passionate about that, or if the parents were passionate about that, or if the universities were passionate about the students being passionate about that. And I think a lot of that has changed. Like I'm really seeing students that are curious, and not because it's just going on a resume, but because it's something that they're passionate about and it's something that they want to continue to explore. Our club system offers a lot of different opportunities to do that. We have grown some of our service program partnerships as well, so we have more partnerships than we did before. The service clubs, I think, there's an abundance of service clubs as well.